The last couple of days, I've been thinking a lot about how to best, I think, change direction on my startup. So right now, the Cosmos products that we built are two different products. One is a web app, the Cosmos Creator, where you can upload videos and then change their aspect ratios and export them as MP4s or animated GIFs. That's a project that we started back in May, worked on it for a couple months, and based on some feedback, decided to put on the back burner. And then we switched gears to the desktop finder to search your Mac. It's an app that you download onto your Mac, and you can index images and videos. Soon we're going to be able to index text, so that you can search everything on your Mac by just like a global search, and basically replacing your Mac Finder. And there are two products that we worked in, not necessarily in parallel, but we'll work on one. We worked on one for a couple months, then the next one, and we recently have just been having a lot of discussions around what product to focus on next, and focus on taking that product to a place where we can actually market it to people and deliver some value. And I think the challenge has just been like the indecision around how do we create something that's going to generate us money, but also that solves a problem. And there's so many different paths to take. I think with the desktop app, we saw our first paying customer. So back in December, we did make a sale, and then we shifted gears to focus on marketing it a little bit, but the product is still far from done. What I'm struggling with as a founder is just the constant, push and pull of, there's a signal over here where people are signing up, or I had a conversation with someone that seemed really enthusiastic about using the product, and splitting my attention across a few different products and just initiatives. We're trying to learn marketing, there's branding, SEO, like the technical aspects of it, there's updating our landing page, and then there's the actual product. So like actually doing the engineering work to make the product way better and to make it something that you tell your friends about. And I'm finding out that there's just so many different ways to, I think, approach the problem and like see a lot of paths. We made our first revenue from our newsletter last week. We made $176. And so that's like another thing. It's great, but it's another thing that's kind of pulling us in a different direction, where now we have the newsletter that generates us some revenue. We have the desktop app that generates us, that has made us sales in the past. And then we have this web app that hasn't made us any sales, but it is probably the easiest to develop, even though I think it's more competitive and ultimately probably not something that we're really passionate about. But just as a founder, there's nobody telling you like, hey, this is the path that you should take. I think when you talk to people, they give you their feedback. If you're lucky, they give you honest feedback. And, but then they tell you like, yeah, I see this playing out in a few different ways. I can see you going down different directions and making it work, but it's got to be something that you're curious about and you are willing to dedicate maybe 10 years of your life to. Yesterday, we reached a point where we had to decide, like, there are too many things going on. There's too many projects up in the air. I feel like I'm juggling just a lot of different responsibilities and only making incremental progress on one or two. And and I would say even that is being generous. Like, it feels like just moving pieces on the board slightly, but not really narrowing my focus to one thing and making that thing as great as possible. So starting today, we've decided that we're tabling all other projects, all other initiatives besides the Cosmos Desktop Finder. And the Cosmos Desktop Finder is for anyone who needs to organize files on their computers, and I think we're going to workshop the specific audience over time, but we feel like moving forward, this project has the most promise and what we're personally most excited to work on. I think we're letting go a little bit of the FOMO, frankly, of working on a project like the desktop app where we've sunk in a lot of time, a lot of engineering work has gone into getting that project to where it is right now. You can check it out at app.golivecosmos.com. But I think part of narrowing your focus is making the tough decision to say, there are some pet projects that I have to table for now, maybe forever, and focus on the task at hand. And that's really the competitive advantage that you have as a founder, is narrowing your focus and spending all of your efforts to make that thing really great, as great as possible. And then once you're satisfied with the effort and the distribution of that project, then you can start to say, all right, what other initiatives or what other things can I do? We've learned the hard way that it's too distracting to try to juggle too many things at once and think of yourself as like a one-person machine that does sales, marketing, product development, engineering, distribution. It's too many things. Nobody can do all of it. And if you're going to try to do all of them, you're probably just going to do a bad job at most of them, instead of really zeroing in on one thing and making that thing your passion. So that's what we're gonna try for the next 6 to 12 months, is focus on the Cosmos desktop finder and making that as really great as possible. And there will be other things that we do to promote the product and grow it. But I think starting with narrowing our focus across all the products and all the initiatives, that's what we're going to be doing moving forward on Cosmos. So I wanted to share just a short update so that people learn a little bit about what's going on at Cosmos, but that this is pretty normal for the course of a startup or a business. If you have too many things that you're trying to do, you drown in your responsibilities. You drown in the indecision of not knowing what is the most important thing that I could do today. By narrowing down our focus to one project, that's how that question, it's already answered for you. This is the most important thing that I should be working on, and I'm committed to seeing it through. So subscribe, like this video, and sign up for Cosmos. Check it out. It's a cool project. It's going to be getting better, but I appreciate your support, and thanks for checking it out.